Nobody is coming to save Tamale. I know that's a painful thing to hear. We are waiting for government, waiting for investors, waiting for politicians, waiting for NGOs, waiting for somebody from Accra to discover us. Waiting for somebody from abroad to come and transform the city. But what if I told you the person we have been waiting for might actually be looking at us in the mirror? Stay with me because I am going to tell you what I think Tamale needs to stop waiting for. And what could happen if we finally decide to take responsibility for the city we call home. And by the end, I'm going to ask you one uncomfortable question. If nobody comes to save Tamale, what are you going to do about it? I love Tamale, and precisely because I love the city, I think we need to have uncomfortable conversations about it. Because sometimes loving a place means refusing to lie to it. Tamale has enormous potential. Young people, universities, businesses, agriculture, culture, tourism, technology, creative talent, and a strategic location. And an entire generation of young people who are hungry for something better. But sometimes I look around and ask myself, why are we still waiting? Waiting for the next government project, waiting for the next politician, waiting for investors, waiting for someone to build the businesses we wish existed, waiting for someone else to tell our stories, waiting for someone else to fix our problems. And meanwhile, time is moving. Think about a young person in Tamale today. They graduate from university. They cannot find a job. They complain. Fair enough. But then they spend 2 or 3 years waiting for government recruitment. Another person starts a small business. Instead of supporting them, we ask, how much money are they really making? Someone creates content about Tamale. We laugh. Someone launches a new product. We say, let's see how long it lasts. Someone succeeds. Suddenly, everyone wants to know them. But where were we when they were starting? This is the contradiction. We want a successful city, but sometimes we don't behave like people building one. Now, before someone says I am blaming citizens for government failure, I am not. Government has responsibilities. We need infrastructure. We need better roads, reliable electricity, healthcare, education, business-friendly policies, investment, security, and functioning public institutions. Citizens should demand these things. Absolutely. But here's the uncomfortable part. Government cannot build the entire future of Tamale by itself. A government can build a road, but it cannot build your business for you. It can create a policy, but it cannot create your ambition. It can build a school, but it cannot force you to learn. It can attract investment, but local people still have to build companies capable of taking advantage of that investment. I think one of our biggest problems is this culture of waiting. When the government does this, when the politician do that, when investors come, when we get better roads, when the economy improves, and suddenly 5 years have passed, then 10, and we are still waiting. But history does not reward people who wait for perfect conditions. Every successful city has people who started before everything was ready. Let's be fair, Tamale isn't hopeless, not even close. There are entrepreneurs building businesses, farmers adopting new ideas, young people developing technology, creative professionals telling northern stories, women building powerful enterprises, professionals mentoring others, people creating jobs with very little recognition. They are already providing something important. Tamale doesn't need permission to begin transforming. The transformation has already started. The question is whether we are going to accelerate it. Maybe we need to change one question. Instead of who will help Tamale, ask, what can I contribute to Tamale? If you are a photographer, document the city. If you are a filmmaker, tell our stories. If you are a software developer, build solutions for local problems. If you are an entrepreneur, create jobs. If you are a professional, mentor someone. If you are a student, learn something the market needs. If you own a business, treat your customers properly. If you have money, invest intelligently. If you have influence, use it responsibly. You don't need to be a billionaire to contribute to the development of the city. Sometimes, transformation begins with something as simple as refusing to be part of the problem. Here's another uncomfortable conversation. We complain that Tamale does not have enough successful businesses. But do we support the businesses that already exist? We complain that young people aren't creating enough. But when someone tries something different, do we encourage them? We complain that northern stories aren't being told. But when someone creates those stories, do we watch? Do we share? Do we recommend? A city cannot develop when everyone expects somebody else to spend the money. Economic development is also about what we choose to support. And perhaps the biggest tragedy is talent living. A talented young person grows up in Tamale. They become skillful. They become ambitious. Then they leave. Accra gets them. Kumasi gets them. Lagos gets them. London gets them. Canada gets them. And then we complain the North has no talent. No! Sometimes the talent was here. We simply did not create enough reasons for it to stay. Imagine if 10,000 young people in Tamale decided to become builders instead of spectators. Not everyone has to start a company. Not everyone has to become famous. But imagine thousands of people deciding, I'm going to become exceptionally good at something. Imagine businesses collaborating instead of constantly competing. Imagine entrepreneurs hiring locally. Imagine professionals mentoring young people. Imagine successful Northerners investing back into the city. Imagine citizens protecting public spaces. Imagine young people treating Tamale not just as somewhere they live, but as something they are helping build. That's how cities change. Not overnight, but decision by decision, person by person, business by business. So maybe the problem isn't that Tamale has no future. Maybe the problem is that too many people are waiting for the future to arrive instead of building it. And I think that's dangerous, because when you constantly wait for someone else to save you, you eventually convince yourself that you are powerless. And I don't think Tamale, or I don't believe Tamale is powerless. I believe Tamale is underutilized. So here's what I think will change Tamale more than anything. Ownership. Not ownership of land, ownership of responsibility. The mentality that says, this is my city, these are my people, these are our problems, what can I do about them? Imagine if that becomes normal. Not waiting, not complaining endlessly, not blaming everyone, but building, demanding accountability where government fails, while simultaneously taking responsibility where citizens have power. That's the balance. Remember how I started. Nobody is coming to save Tamale. And maybe that's actually good news, because it means we don't have to wait for a savior. We don't need one politician to transform everything. We don't need one billionaire. We don't need one foreign investor. We need thousands of ordinary people doing extraordinary things consistently. Because Tamale's future shouldn't belong to whoever wins the next election. It should belong to the people who are willing to build it. But here's where I want to leave you. Imagine we wake up 5 years from now and Tamale is still complaining about the same problems. Same unemployment, same frustrations, same abandoned projects, same young people living, same businesses struggling, same conversations. Then ask yourself, who do we blame? The government, politicians, investors, or ourselves? Because 5 years from now, today's young people will be older. Today's businesses will either be stronger or gone. Today's ideas will either become companies or remain conversations. And today's excuses will still be excuses. So I will ask you the question I promised at the beginning. If nobody is coming to save Tamale, what are you personally willing to do to help build it? Not what government should do, not what politicians should do, not what investors should do. What will you do? Because maybe Tamale doesn't need a savior. Maybe Tamale needs a generation that finally decides we are the people we have been waiting for.